everybody. I will call the meeting to order. We have a quorum. I would take a motion to approve the agenda and the minutes, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda in the minutes.
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? All right, motion carried. Or Mr. Brown?
Not a lot to discuss. We got the shouldering updated on 105 now, we're just waiting for the project and haven't got any new updates on that paving project just yet. So, you guys are up blading today, so I get a little bit of moisture finally after months of dry weather. So how long we can keep the roads cut with moisture until they start drying out and the cooler weather's nice. So. And the only thing we have to talk about is that bike route. If you guys want to discuss that a little bit. The trail committee wants to extend from 105, wants to go 105 Mallard north to where they ended at Ochiola. We have enough signs to do that stretch. Yeah.
You just share the road signs,
Yeah,
right?
we just share the road signs. So that's fine. I'm a little nervous about wanting to continue on 105, just how busy it is, but I guess since we don't have signs for it, I don't know if we just kind of piecemeal it for now until they get one of them together.
They just wanna go from Northwood.
What's that?
They wanna go north of west to 105 or to Mallard and then north.
Well, yeah, they want, yeah, that's, right now they're going from Sawmill Road up around where I'm still living and down Mallard.
Yep.
They stopped at Ochiola, but we have an extra 2 signs because we placed them different, so we could run it down to Mallard if they wanted to get an extra length, and then their future plans are maybe extend it further south and then
Right.
go west, or even try to use 105. Shoulders are a little bit wider there. It's still a busy road.
Going south on Mallard is a lot safer.
I think right now, south on Mallard would be okay to approve that.
Yeah,
Right.
And then we'll just see. That's all they've got money for signs anyway for now.
basically just okay in putting the signs up. We're not saying this is a trail.
Right, just putting the signs up on Mallard as.
Acknowledge.
No, you're right. I mean,
Yeah.
it's their choice. They're gonna ride on it.
Same
whether
thing we did
signs
with the
are
other
or not.
portion, so.
Yeah, I mean, if you got the signs, I'm fine with it.
It's something I
I'm
encourage.
fine
I
with
said, you guys need to at least set up some road routes. I said, you know, that everybody likes to ride, so that if you're trying to make it a trail friendly or
Right.
whatever,
Like,
I mean, you gotta try to start somewhere. Cause other the money's not there for the rest of it, so. So, you know, I have no problem with it.
You got the signs, put them up.
Okay.
Was that a
As a
motion?
motion, I'll make that a motion.
I'll second it.
All right, motion by Mark, second by Enos to install the last couple share the road signs for bike trail. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye?
All right,
Aye. Opposed? All right, motion will carry.
Once we get them put up, we'll send an invoice. They had their funding to pay for it, so.
Good.
And then the only other thing is, and this is just general discussion about the COVID money or whatever the heck that recovery, I don't know how many funds are out there. There are 2 different funds and one was, so our national associations and our state associations are still, you know, I don't know, Worth County's getting 1.4 million.
143.
And everybody's still kind of trying to figure out what is eligible and what isn't eligible.
Mhm.
Discussions have been sewer and water projects, I think, mostly for that kind of money, just in the engineer side of things. And then the NACE president, who's the Clinton County engineer right now, and talked about, and they're talking about it nationally too, is, I don't know, and it's something maybe you brought up a while back about emergency funding or emergency personnel funding or whatever. The emergency responders pay essential. So I mean, that was another thing that they brought up too, not that they, you know, anybody was acting on it directly, but I think that the comment in the exec board meeting on Friday, I think it was Friday, Thursday, was if you don't use the money, it'll probably go back and somebody else can use it for the same thing that we could. So
right.
Yeah.
nobody knows exactly yet. I mean, our association is going to dig deeper into finding exactly what's eligible, because if they're talking about water quality, maybe we can apply for all of our ditch clean work we've been doing. That could maybe compensate for some of that work and materials we used. So we're just kind of trying to figure out what we can use it for. So
Any chance you can use it to fix all these blowouts we've been having and
I
get the
don't-
roads back instead of just putting coal patches on them and calling them good? Or
I'm not sure that they can use that.
well,
Well,
and that's
we'll be patching.
my next question. I mean, are we looking at going out and cutting that concrete out and redoing it, doing it right? Because we've kind of in the past just
Oh, the cold patch, yeah. When we're getting our saw back, we just gotta,
most of these roads are still in pretty good shape,
right,
really good shape, and now we're
in
starting
the
to
heat
throw
of the
coal
summer,
patches
it's hard to
on.
go cutting because
I
it's a wedge
understand.
blade, but we'll be getting our saw back and
Okay,
we'll do some more patching.
good.
That's all I've got.
You guys got any for Rich or?
No, that was just, I was just kind of curious. I just out this morning, I noticed some of these, when you're driving these roads, you know, where they've heaved, it's kind of
Yeah.
shame not to
Yeah.
actually take that back out and make them right.
Yep.
It's just a section here and there. I'd like to see them done, so.
Okay, thank you, Rich. Drainage. Do we have some
Got a
claims?
few things, yes.
Stamped warrants for DD 46.
The stamp warrants.
Motion to approve stamped warrants, or second?
I'll second it.
Any other discussion on it? All in favor, aye?
All right,
Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Start with DD 46.
DD 46, lat 9, approve change order number 2 and pay request number 3.
Pay request. This is the change order, but you probably just approved the,
that's it.
yeah,
Stamp warrants there.
you approved the payment technically, but
Okay.
I just need to get the 3 that you need to sign.
Okay.
That's the change
That's a
order.
change order.
Yep.
We already approved that, haven't we? This is not,
Not that,
not that one.
not that one.
No.
Okay.
This was the one out there by Rogers, or
Oh, okay, yeah.
out here.
So
That's that one.
we were just talking.
Yeah, we just talked that level now.
It's like about a $12,000 change order. So
Make a motion to,
recommended by the engineer, so we motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Okay,
I'll second it.
all right. Any other discussion? Actually, it's only about $1,400. From original. Okay. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, motion will carry. D13, lat 3, approve change order 3, number 3, and pay request number 3, and set completion hearing date. So I went out and met with Jacob last week, after a meeting, and met with him, looked everything over. Everything looks good, seems like all the farmers were happy. They came back and cleaned up after they got a couple rains, we come back, cleaned up a bunch of tree roots, crap like that, so they got about 5 pound truckloads of stuff. They start talking tree roots and small and whatever, so it sounds like they came back, did a really good job. And, all the landowners in that way appear to be good with everything, so it sounds like fortunate enough, we were when they did that project, they bought the pipe right away and had all that taken care of and got the pipe at a cheaper rate than what it was, and I think Rich bought the rest.
Well, we did buy some, yeah, and then we're supposed to get some collars with it, but we didn't see any collars. So
Because there was some extra, and instead of sending it back for the cheaper price.
yeah, we bought it for the cheaper price.
Right, they bought it for the price that they got it for, so those secondary roads got decent price on
Some
some
extra
pipes.
stuff.
Yeah,
But yeah, everybody's happy up there, so.
46.
This is for 46.
So I'd take a motion to, approve change order number 3 and pay request number 3.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
I'll second it.
All right, any other discussion on it?
Did John Jansen call you about the 2 intakes? He said he called you.
Well, if you did, I don't,
Anyway, they put in a couple of intakes out there.
Yep.
That had never been there before, and he's afraid that when they get a gusher, it's gonna come back up, and he just wants, he talked to Jacob about it, and everybody's telling him, don't worry about it, but he just wanted us to be aware of the fact, he doesn't think it's gonna work that way.
I remember that Jim Crow called me on some stuff out there once, might kind of similar to that. I
Yeah,
think.
this is
Some
John Jansen.
surface inlets anyway, but I know they.
There's never
discussed it.
been there before, and there was 2 of them there, and they just went and stuck them in, and
Okay, cause I know, yeah, they talked, some of those guys talked with the engineer. I don't remember that name right off the top of my head, but he could have, so.
Yeah.
he just wanted us to be aware of the fact, he doesn't think it's gonna work that way.
Which if they
He
don't.
thinks
they
the
could-
water's gonna come back up, so
If they do, then we can always go back and.
let's go back, take them out.
Yeah, so that's what happens.
Yeah,
He just wanted us to be aware of it.
What's that?
Might have got a little test yesterday.
Yeah, probably gonna take a little more than
Yeah,
that. It's
more
pretty
than that,
dry.
yeah.
We probably need to get back to the little wetter stage to see that
It
happen.
just came really fast.
Okay, got a
And then-
motion and a second.
Oh, sorry.
That's for those 2, all in favor?
I'll
Aye.
make that a motion.
There, you already
We
got
already
that.
did, yes.
Yep.
we talked.
For the pay request and, change order, so, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? All right, the motion will pass.
And then the last thing I have for that is, I got the, completion letter from Bolton and they, so we need to set the completion hearing date.
Whatever's available, right?
Say, pick a Monday, any Monday.
Time frame when we get a notification, a couple
Oh,
weeks,
yeah. Would we go with like the
July.
19th?
When the July.
Yeah,
Did he put a recommendation? Actually, we talked about that.
oh, date,
Yeah. He didn't say that, did he?
oh, there was one day he couldn't do it, he couldn't do it the 10th. That's what it was.
Maybe that's what it was you talked about.
Yeah, that, it's coming back to me a little bit.
The 10th is a Saturday.
Oh, oops, okay, there was some day he couldn't do
Maybe it's the 12th.
Well,
He did-
and then-
He did say there's a date.
Yeah,
it.
shoot for the 19th, if that's okay. So the better.
12, yeah, anything except for that 12.
Okay. We're to the 19th.
Right now, there's nothing extra on the calendar but the meeting that I can see. Well, Safety committee or whatever the other committee is we just formed. Security, that's not on there. That's another date. Security.
That's a Wednesday.
That's a Wednesday, okay.
Okay, so let's set the, take a motion to set the, DD 13 lateral 3, public hearing completion for July 19th.
I'll make that a motion.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carry, we'll take care of that on July 19th. Claims, you guys look over the claims,
Yes.
Yes.
questions, concerns, comments?
Is there a state medical examiner fee or autopsy or something? So,
Yeah, that's one.
that's one. That's one now.
We've had several.
No, I know.
Yeah.
They must have gone up. then.
Oh,
They
yeah.
used to be. Also, almost double.
All right, take a motion to approve the claims.
I'll make a motion to approve the claims.
Yes.
All in favor, aye?
All right.
Opposed? Carried. Reports.
report.
Motion to approve the clerk report.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
I'll second.
All right, any discussion? All right.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Payroll eligibility or salary changes.
I got one that's just technically, he already works with us, but it's a change in his status. He's one of the, transit drivers is Don.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was part-time or moved up.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
I'll say-
really part-time. and
Yeah.
Now he's part-time.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, he was really part-time. Now he is part-time. So I'll make that a motion.
Motion to approve Jerry Bakken, transit driver, for a second.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carries. Liquor or cigarette license,
No,
liquor management plans, saw that last week, right?
yeah, Craig must have had a change and then the what is it, wiper knees?
Wiper. Liberty, it's just crop rotation. And Craig. That's an acre.
That is an average probably. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so Craig said it's some acres.
I'll make a motion to acknowledge, we do both at once, or do winter management plans.
Sure. Karen, what we say, motion to acknowledge, Wyverny Mineral Management Plan and Benjiger's Mineral Management Plan.
I'll second it.
All right, any other discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, these plans are acknowledged. FEH, amendment to professional services agreements to add structural survey of the courthouse, geotechnical services, soil borings on the site of where future buildings may be located. That just gives a little better idea of what kind of structure the courthouse is, or how good of a structure it is. And then soil borings, if we were to build here, or add on, or whatever we do, gives them the right to do that. So take a motion to
How much
approve
is
this
it?
amendment. Survey's 2,900. The structure valuation is 5,000, and the geotech RFP is 300.
About 8,000.
Yep.
That's what he said the other day, I think.
Yep. So is there a motion to approve the amendment to the professional services agreement?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. Cheryl Furley requests to use the courthouse grounds for Bible reading from June 25th through July 4th.
Yeah, this has been an annual request for
Annual
a
thing for
while, and
years.
she sent in an email and was asking if they could do it again.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
I'll second it.
All right, motion and second. Is there any other discussion on it? Hearing none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion will
I'm
carry.
sure they're always looking for volunteers too to come read, so.
Yeah.
That's a sign up.
Okay, warning siren, the Welcome Center, discussion on ownership and insurance coverage. Mark,
Well, so, as you probably know, last year we received a grant from WCDA that was submitted through emergency management for that outdoor warning siren. In July, I don't remember the exact dates, but in the month of July, it was placed there and everything was set up, and it's been operational since, no issues or anything like that. And I never really thought about it until we got our ICAP renewal this year. I was looking through, making sure that the things we have were on there and stuff like that, and I'm like, you know what, I don't see that siren on there, but then I got to think, I'm like, well, is that really something that the Emergency Management Commission should own, or is that something that the county should own? And so then, the more I thought about it, I'm like, it probably really isn't something that the commission should own and maintain and stuff and insure, because if the commission does that on infrastructure that serves the county area, then what stops that from any city saying, well, we want you to own and insure and maintain our sirens too, which
They
the
don't pay
commission.
anything in.
Huh.
They don't pay anything in.
Yeah. Well, they do. The cities all contribute, through the taxation for the people in the cities contribute through that. But on that commission, so
We give it back to the casino.
There we go.
it's not really on their property.
Good try.
It's the states then, right? It's the state property.
It is on their property.
Technically.
If a city that's in the county wanted assistance in writing a grant to get a new siren or something like that, obviously I would help them with that process and,
Mhm.
if we want to know, like, hey, what kind of siren should we get, or how do we go about writing the grant to get one or something like that? I'd definitely help them with that. But I think, when we start looking at the commission itself, which if you look at 29 C Iowa code, the commission is a governmental entity on its own. And so the property that it owns really should be for the benefit of everybody in that, meaning it should benefit, like our command trailer, it benefits anybody that would need that trailer. The truck pulls the trailer, takes the vehicle and supplies to there, that kind of thing. We don't own the office building, we don't own the storage building, but
In a roundabout way, we're gonna pay for it regardless. It's through taxation, so. I mean,
Yeah,
it's just,
right.
it's-
yeah. So, and I didn't know if it's already on the county's list of insured properties from ICAP or not.
If you didn't turn an
Yeah,
invoice
you
or
did.
something into Olson's, it's probably not on.
I don't remember doing that.
No, it's,
Do you still have that information
I
that can
can,
be
yes,
turned
I can
in?
get that.
that's pretty easy to do. We all do that and realize a year later we forgot to insure something, so.
It's happened.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's gonna make a drastic change to any of our insurance for the little bit it is, so.
No, the cost of the siren was $29,000 and something that was, installed with, except for the electrical. And when I wrote the grant, that was for the cost of the siren installed minus electrical. We didn't know exactly the location where the siren was gonna go at the time. And we had a couple good choices. You were part of that decision. And so then we couldn't really get a good solid bid on what the electrical install cost would be. So then that was just the commission's part of getting it installed was, on the grant process is like, we're gonna get that part taken care of, so.
Okay.
And I think that was $700 or $800.
Right.
Is what we're doing.
Yeah, I suppose it's counties, right?
I think.
Well, like I say, in a roundabout way. it comes
Right.
Back to tax. So,
Yeah, and it's a good thing to have out there, just with the number of people, because there's probably days out there that the number of people in that area outdo the number, and probably about all of our towns,
You can,
so. It's,
more people go through there on a day at least.
yeah, so,
And the company that installs it, sells the siren and installs it, they have the siren has a 3-year warranty on it, I hate to say bumper to bumper, but top to bottom. And then after that, they have a service program that I'll get more information on. But part of that cost is there's 4 of the lead acid batteries in that cabinet that actually run the siren.
Okay.
They replace those at the beginning of the service contract. So even though and I don't know the figures, but even though your contract is X number of dollars, you're getting some good value out of it right away. And then if there's any repairs, and they come and they do a yearly check, make sure everything is still working right on and stuff. Not only that, along with our monthly test on this.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we can look into that and see
Yeah, once we get
for
it.
future, I guess, once the
Right.
warranty's up. Yeah, so I mean, I guess that's. You wanna do any motion on that? To accept ownership of the
Sure.
I say yes.
tornado center casino?
Yep, I'll make that motion.
Okay, there's a motion, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor aye?
All right,
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, if you wanna get that stuff gathered up and
Yes, I'll
send it
do
to
that.
Corey.
I can, yep.
Uh,
Do you want a copy of it too, Jack?
Sure,
Okay.
Yeah, just
thanks.
for the records.
get it to Corey so you can get it put on the policy, so if something does happen, it could get replaced. The tornado comes through and knocks it down.
Hopefully it was on first.
Hopefully it went off first and everybody ran, but.
Ellie got hit last night, so.
What did they?
What's that?
Thank you, Mark.
Well,
Family law enforcement agreement, Dan, they're meeting
Next
tonight.
Monday,
They're meeting tonight, right?
21st, yes, meet tonight, so we won't see it until next week probably.
Sounds good. Resolution 2021.6.21 to withdraw from North Iowa Juvenile Detention Center.
The resolution from Jeff.
Okay. All right, whereas Worth County, Iowa, a member of North Iowa Juvenile Detention Services Commission and desires to withdraw from said commission. Whereas the Articles of Agreement, Article 8, Membership, Section 4, membership termination provides to withdraw, Worth County must adopt a resolution to withdraw from this commission, and a signed copy of the resolution must be sent to the chairperson of the commission. It's hereby resolved that the Worth County Board of Supervisors shall withdraw from North Iowa Juvenile Detention Services Commission effective upon notification to the chairperson of this commission. Adopted today. So we're a part of Central Iowa and don't need to pay into two or have memberships.
We're not
Two,
paying.
or we don't need to have two memberships,
We don't
basically.
need to.
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion. Resolution.
Okay. There's a motion to approve the resolution. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Right, any other discussion? Roll call vote. Lowberg,
Aye.
Maybe.
Aye.
Stone, aye. All right, the resolution will pass. Assessor's office. Business property tax credit or anything?
This is just a technicality. Basically, the assessor's office allows or disallows, and they've allowed everything in this stack, but you can look at it if you want.
Well, this is,
That was different than the homestead.
Right,
Okay.
Parkwood. AJ's, please.
So we need a motion to approve
Yeah,
the business property tax credit allowances and disallowances.
I'll make that motion.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor aye?
Right,
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried.
still no Brian. He must have been at the fair.
Good deal, Lee. PR work up there, I suppose. Okay, Julie Coates. Discussion on plans with the Venergy Road Development Agreement.
Oh, it's hot in here.
How are you this morning?
I'm good.
Good.
Hi.
Hey.
I just wanted to report on a couple things, get a little feedback if I can. So first of all, on the June 16th planning and zoning public hearing, it was very well attended. I see more and more people getting involved, and I think that's a very good thing. There were a couple concerning things I wanted to bring to your attention. One, Merlin Bartz did get up and he did state that when Worth County passed, and I'm sorry, but I listened to it over and over again, but the video, the sound was kind of echoey, so it's kind of hard to hear it in there. I could hear it when I was there, but on the video to rehear it. He said that when Worth County passed that moratorium, that Supervisors Loberg and Supervisor Stone stated that the worthwhile project is not affected by the moratorium because Invenergy had already started construction. And he referred to an article in the Globe Gazette at this. So I reviewed that 4/12/2021 supervisors meeting 2 times, and I looked through that and I did not see where either of you supervisors said that. There was some comment made that it was felt that the moratorium wouldn't affect their timeline. And then I recall specifically Supervisor Loberg that you saying, although you weren't sure of that. So I felt that that was an important thing to be aware of. And I didn't see it in the Globe Gazette that it was written that way either. The other thing that I found concerning was Invenergy was there, their representative Mark Kroll was there. And first of all, Invenergy did not offer any comment to the ordinance. And they were asked to, but they decided not to. And Mark Kroll did get up and wanted to give follow-up to Merlin Bart's presentation. And he said that it is their stance that the ordinance will not be applicable to the worthwhile project. And they want to make it clear that it is not subject to county approval. I find that very concerning. So when I went back and I looked at the 4/12/21 minutes, and I looked those over twice. Again, time and again in there. One thing that Mark Kroll mentions is that they want to learn from the projects that they've done and provide a middle ground. Again, at the 1 hour and 31 minute mark, trying to learn now that we see and know how the Freeborn project affects people. Another point, I can tell you that we're going to do better. And at the 1 hour 58 mark, do something better this next time, find middle ground. But yet their middle ground seems to be do it our way. They're saying that it's 1,500 feet and that's non-negotiable. And we know what 1,500 feet is for 453 foot turbines. And they also mentioned the 50 dBA. And I want to remind you that dBA means nothing, absolutely nothing. That is but an average. So we do have, we actually hired an acoustician and have some very good sound verbiage that we are recommending to the planning and zoning. I don't know what they'll put in there, but dBA, what does 50 dBA mean? If you said something's 50 dBA, how loud is that going to be?
So that's the amount of noise in this room right now as we talk. They're running between 40 and 50 dBA.
But dBA is an average. So it could be up to 70 and then down to 30. It is but an average. So how that is exactly measured and the verbiage on that, and then what the repercussions are, how the accountability is for that. That's what I'm saying. You can't just accept this from Invenergy, and I think they've shown that in the past. And I mean, learn from their project. This is not a new company, people. They know very well what they're doing. So I found that funny. And again, it was over said again that they seem to not want to accept any responsibility for the Freeborn project. Mr. Supervisor Loberg asked them if they designed the Freeborn project, and Mark Kroll said he could not comment. When asked about the presentation down in Kensett, he said he couldn't give any comment on that. He didn't give that presentation. My gosh, if I did that in my job, if I was representing, you know, Mercy here, and I said, I don't have anything to do with that, you know, somebody's got to take some responsibility, and he is a representative for Invenergy, needs to. So I'm asking, one thing is, can the board help? Is there any works on getting Excel down here? to talk to the people out in the Freeborn project. And then just lastly, I guess I would say, as they pointed out, they being Invenergy pointed out again and again, on the 4/12 meeting, Mark Kroll said that their attorney sent a letter, their position is clear, the worthwhile win doesn't believe the moratorium or any ordinance would be applicable to Invenergy. They've stated that over and over. So I think that's very audacious on their part. I think in ways it's trying to be intimidating. I don't know if you realize this, but I also was sent 5 intimidating emails by their chief legal correspondent, Michael Blazer. They are showing their true colors. And I'll just close with something that Jeff Gorball said on the 4/12 meeting. And this is paraphrasing. So failure to act on the supervisor's part may indeed pit neighbors against neighbors or neighbors against the board. It is not the duty of my neighbor to look out for my rights. However, I hope he would. It is the duty of my government to look out for and protect my rights. So I just wanted to make you aware of some of those things. And I don't know if there's anything that can be done. I was told that XL is doing some sound studies up in Minnesota. So Minnesota has noise standards that they have to abide by, state. And the one place that they were doing the sound studies on, they did not meet them. So this particular person told me that, he said, I don't know if you know this, but I was told they're gonna adhere to the same standards in Iowa. Do they have to do that? No. So there is a John Marshall, he's their, he is their community relations person. He'll give you a good lip service. But so you asked Mark, I believe, to get you some names, some numbers. Did he ever do that? Did he,
We've all met with Excel and
together as a group?
No.
Okay,
individually. And I have talked with them, explained my position on how a lot of those were placed wrong, and they pointed out 6 of them to me that were within that 1,000 feet, right around that 1,000-foot mark. And so we went out, talked to those people and other people, and I've talked with just a handful. I got a stack of business cards from like Christopher Hogue that they're supposed to contact him. And so I've been out trying to encourage people to talk to this guy, make a call, and discuss your grievance on where these turbines are set. I know some have, I don't know if everybody has. They have been out or gonna start coming out to do some sound testing and that kind of stuff at their properties. So whether a lot of the others have or not contacted, I don't know for sure. But anyone I've been talking with out there, I've definitely encouraged them to contact XL. Because basically XL told me that if they don't contact us, then there must not be an issue. We're not gonna contact them. So I have encouraged these people to contact XL. Chris up there at wherever they're, Gordonsville, Glenville.
why don't they
office.
send something out to all of the people in the, is that
Yeah.
really, I mean, I appreciate you doing that. Why don't
Right.
they send something out?
I
And why
know.
don't they have a public meeting? None of these places really ever have a public meeting, but I appreciate you doing that, and
Yep.
I've asked them to have a public meeting. So one thing I want to clarify then, so at 1,000 feet, those are so there's like, that's,
There's 6 of them that are right in that 1,000-foot mark.
so is that the ones that they're offering that they're concerned about, or?
That's the ones that they felt were the important ones to address because they're that close to people's houses.
Okay,
There's quite a few that are at that 1,500-foot mark. And then they didn't seem too worried about those personally, but they pointed out basically those 6 individual turbines.
And of those 6, 4 have already contacted them. When I went there, they'd contact the homeowner had already contacted them.
Right.
2 of them hadn't. And I got information to one of them and you got
I think the
information.
other 2 have now.
Yeah.
I think that should be Excel's job to reach out to the community as a whole. But,
Well, and that's kind of my thought too, but I told them that's fine, I'll take some business cards and I'll go talk with the people that got them that close and we'll let them contact you then and go through that process, so.
Yeah.
What will become of it? It's beyond me, but.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say, Invenergy saying they want to find middle ground, quote, find middle ground, but yet here's our middle ground. This is what we're willing, and 50 dBA means nothing, 1,500-foot setback. So a 1,500-foot setback, so if you've got that one and then you've got another 1,500 foot, and then you've got another one at 2,500 foot, it's additive. So that, you've got to consider a lot of things, and that's what the ordinance does. And so I don't know what this reports in the future here, but appreciate your protecting the rights of the residents of Worth County.
I did talk to a farmer last week that was a quarter mile away. They could hear it inside of his house. Said it's quite loud. I said, have you contacted them? And he said, no. He says, I'm not the type that's gonna.
And that's the thing. There's a number which, but if it means that much to them, they should. But that's one thing I think if there was a public meeting, many more people, and they hear other people, I think people are more willing to stand up with a group. But I find that over and over, I repeatedly asked from Invenergy and from Excel to have a public meeting where we can have something, and they refuse to do so. And I think that speaks to that industry and those companies. So, all right, appreciate it. But I don't know, it's kind of scary when you're dealing with a company, as my good friend Sue Erbach once said, is this the kind of company that you want to do business with? Is this the kind of company that you want your neighbor doing business with? Thanks.
Thank you, Julie. Winworth Betco. What's on there? Sorry?
Nothing new, still working with that developer. We're pursuing potential local businesses before we move on. And Jackie, thanks for sending that to me. I was unprepared for that meeting, short notice meeting, so I just needed it for my own reference. Sorry to throw you for a loop.
That's what happens.
Have you heard anything back from IEDA? We're all good with the Sukup, our portion of the Sukup project until they come in and file for their taxes abatements or whatever we just decide.
Yep. I will follow up with, I have to call him about another project anyway, so.
I just see they're building out there, so I mean, it wasn't gonna stop them anyways, but as long as we got our paperwork and stuff, they're still qualified and getting all the rest of their support from IEDA.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Is there any questions for Melissa? We see it next week? 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
12th,
Weeks?
July 12th.
12, okay. We'll see you next week probably then. Thanks, Melissa.
Bring us more good news.
All right, water, wastewater, people service, nothing new there yet. I heard from Jason, I'll call him this week. Department head discussion. Anyone?
Sheriff and we've been meeting, trying to figure out Keenan's.
Okay.
We kind of got some ideas. We're meeting again after the supervisor meetings, just to talk over kind of where we ended last week and go from there, so.
Once the fair's over, we can get back on base. Oh, that's fine.
Responses I've gotten from Winnebago and Mitchell County and that on personnel to help, none. Just everybody's so busy and everybody's so shorthanded, and the officers, when they've got their time, and they want their time off too, so we're evaluating it and we'll come back with something.
Okay.
I think kind of what we're looking at initially is probably limited days and limited hours. Is what we're looking at. We're gonna open and close. Any day the park's open, we're gonna open the gate. When we close it for the day, we're closing the gate. So
No, that's fine. Like say if you gotta treat it like a public swimming pool, post it for hours, that's what we gotta do, because we can't allow what's been going on up
People
there.
want to use it, use it right. I do know that, and it's too bad that we have to,
And
a few
it's,
people ruin it for
like I
us.
say, unfortunate to our locals.
Well, even
that they're
some of the
on
out of towners are respectful.
Yeah.
It's just the few that have ruined it, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yep.
Like I say, bring us whatever recommendations, we'll stand behind you guys, I think, because it becomes safety too. Well, that's the first priority out there, so.
Yeah, that's, we gotta keep it safe.
For the people and you guys, so.
Okay, any other department heads?
Good question about the lots out there. Have you guys talked anymore about having somebody possibly hay it, or do you want us to still mow it? Or
Is it to that point?
No.
it's not there yet. I just,
Pretty thin.
it's pretty thin.
Well,
but
this is a horrible hay year, so.
Right, that's what, with it being as bad a hay year as I thought, rather than us just mowing it for the sake of mowing it eventually, if that's something you wanna look at.
I think we're looking at like, what probably the earliest thing about mowing will be August, once you do.
You think you
It's
can
pretty
get-
thin and
Think you
it's
get
not,
one cut off at it?
it's not a real
late in
good
the year?
grass hay either. It's
No,
it's
but-
pretty short.
But if we don't, if we don't actually get in a rain cycle, it might be worth something to
I
someone.
was gonna say, yeah, if it's mid-July, or if we do get some rain later this week, by mid-July, maybe then, and I'm sure we could easily get somebody to hay it.
Get fenced.
Fence it, put some goats out there.
You got some sheep.
I need some pasture.
I suppose if we do, we just have to go for sealed bids on somebody
We'll
wants to
just-
cut that for.
Like I
hay.
said, I'm keeping an eye on it. If we get weeds, we'll take care of it, but it's,
If we could hire it and take it to the hay auction too, it's about $250 a ton.
Well, what's our best bet? Do we?
You'd be better off just letting somebody.
yeah, I think.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah,
either that or you go out for, or like a little RFP for
Yeah.
pricing on
right,
cutting and baling it for us and then taking it down to the hay, why not?
right.
There's
One
two,
way or the other,
there's two,
it's
three
probably gotta be
guys, I mean,
posted
like-
in the paper.
Right.
there's 2, 3 guys that are pretty big hayers here in the county.
I mean, if
Do
they're,
a lot of custom work, so they might consider just putting a bid on it and doing that.
anybody in
sell
that
extra hay.
area might,
Get it on our hands.
You got Tom Stevens, you got Harris's, they do quite a bit of cutting. Tom does a lot of custom cutting and custom baling, so Tom would be one.
Should they just run it like you guys run yours?
Yeah,
There might be guys.
Run an
looking for
ad in
hay,
there,
too, being short, so.
but like I said, I don't see it being, it's not in the next couple of weeks, but I just
No,
wanna keep it on the radar, just.
yeah.
I know
so-
we talked before about us mowing it, but when as dry as things are, we're not.
No.
We wanna,
No.
we wanna see it come up too and
Right.
get established and
It's
like I said,
common.
if weeds become an issue, then we may have to spray. but
Right, it looks pretty clean still though.
Let's, do we just put an ad in the paper then to?
Yeah, could you let me know when we're?
Yeah, we'll
posted
keep
in
an eye
there?
on it and just see, when we think that it's time, but. It'll be mid to late July at the earliest, I would
that's what I
say.
would say. That's what
Once we get any rain between now and then and the heat.
Yeah.
and
That would
stuff.
help.
Yeah, we'll keep that in the back of our minds then, and we'll maybe put an ad out here at some point to.
Because it's not super high quality hay, so
No.
it's still
But if
some
somebody
good
wants to do
grass.
it, and can
Somebody
do
wants
it,
to use it.
Some cow hay,
Still worth something.
it's still worth something.
if we don't have to mow it, just leave it lay and
Mhm.
then somebody utilize it. I'm fine with that, so.
Let it get established the best we can, I think, so we don't kill it off first.
Right.
So,
Okay, thank you, Jim.
So last year at the ITech conference, we did have Monday and Tuesday, we did have CISA come in and do a couple of assessments for us that the Secretary of State, with their administrative rules, has made it something that counties need to do. We have 30 counties there. And we got 2 assessments knocked out for those 30 counties. So CISA was very happy, actually. We were mentioned on the national network for those folks. So, and something they might go forward with other states moving forward. The big takeaway there, we got intelligence done from those guys. For the next 2-3 years, we're expecting ransomware attacks against state, local, and tribal governments as increasing exponentially. So hang on, here we go. And that ties in with our cybersecurity insurance.
So because they're getting better at it or something, Joel, or finding better,
It's become a business.
yeah.
Instead of just, something that some kid's doing, it's big business, big dollars. So, that doesn't even take into account the nation state, advanced threats that we're seeing from the Russians, the
I mean,
Chinese.
when the people hack a meat processing facility, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
You get $15 million out of it. why don't you?
Well, yeah, but
guess
still, it's
so.
like, what are they after?
It's really
Everything.
taken off the last couple of years.
And it's just gonna get worse. It is really.
Is this just the modern day,
Easy money.
Yeah, what do they call that? Thief,
It's just the scam. It's just the latest, you know. But right
this is how
now,
they're gonna
it's-
steal from you now.
the really, really smart guys are actually packaging up their hacks and then selling them to people, and then they take a little percentage, and then, so you're taking somebody that's really, really good, distributing it to people that are not real great at it, but they've got these really good tools now.
That way they get arrested, not the real smart guys, right?
Amen. Yeah, it is pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
So I am still working on getting those surveys done, and we'll talk about that at a later date when I get some facts and figures to you guys. But the call right now is not if we get attacked, but when and how we're going to deal with that. So I think part of the security committee and myself will probably look at doing some incident response plans. I know Jackie has one already. But then we'll probably put some policies in place that says it's suggested as well.
First time the business is back to paper and pencil and
Yeah.
record books.
Well, I think, you know, we can make, you know, if we're resilient enough, I think we can at least get ourselves, I think the suggested, as far as coming back from a full-scale attack, would be about 4 hours. Not saying we could do that, but that's kind of the recommended school of thumb right now. Well,
Come to rescue plan, pay for anything we might have to do.
so according to NACO, cybersecurity infrastructure and modernization is included in the ARP stuff and money, but that's up to you guys how you want to spend that. So I know we're doing a few things here, but right now our main goal is probably to get some policies in place and to get some response plans in place. That seems to be most of what CISA is throwing at us right now.
That's the first step. Because none of the other stuff is any good if you don't start with the plans and policies, because then you have nothing to stand on, so.
Yeah, and that's where we need to coordinate with our emergency management folks and make sure that IT and those services are included in all those plans that he has.
That's one reason I just am not jumping at having any election computers hooked up to the internet. I don't want them anywhere close to it.
Just another problem, or could be another problem.
We have runners and we can wait for the results.
Okay, right.
I agree wholeheartedly. So that's kind of the takeaways from last week. So
Good, thank you. Anybody else, department heads?
Quite.
Yeah, that's good.
There.
Fair, they all got fair headaches, don't they?
All right, Supervisor Weekly, Venus.
I had no board meetings. I met with Mark Kroll from Energy for about 2 hours and had a good discussion with him. So.
I just met with one contractor out on DD 10 there on Monday after the meeting or in the afternoon, got the one bid in. I hope you got the copy of that. I did forward it to you. So,
Okay.
and I forwarded to each one of them, so we got the first bid. AJ, you're gonna work on the second one.
Yeah.
Say if you need to, just have them call me.
Okay, yeah, as soon as I get time figured out.
2 miles away. So had that, and then I spent a few hours at the fair trying to get people to survey.
Guess I did that too.
Had a couple good conversations. A couple guys said, I'm not filling out no survey. We still had a good conversation. So, yeah, all in all, that's pretty quiet week, so.
I met with Jacob out there on the D13, looked that over. And then I did meet with Mark Crow, had lunch with him on Wednesday also. I think we had a good discussion, but I guess we'll see what their next step is. And figure it out from there. I took him out to Deer Creek and showed him exactly why we're in this discussion, because of where some of these turbines got placed. Just to get him, put his eyes on it. And I also invited him to encourage some of the people above him. They want to come out and take a look at what we're trying to protect or to stop and protect people from is what happened out there. So hopefully it'll all come around and we can agree on something, but we'll see. And then, yeah, just spent a little time out the fair and it was getting busy. A lot of people out there. Heard it was a really good thing. So it was a busy year. That's good. I think everybody's excited to get back out a little bit. So. All right. Anyone needs to go on the next week's agenda? Okay.
Fair's off.
Curse off.
That the each meeting can go, till our next one, I guess, when's our next one? July, what? I think we were waiting to set one, until I decide on the length of the survey,
Yeah.
right? And then set one after that.
Yeah, when we get the feedback from
They
that
gotta
stuff.
total up that stuff and stuff, so probably a couple of weeks. at least.
Okay. All right, nothing else, then, take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second it.
All in favor, aye?
All right.
All right.
Meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everyone.